Hey YouTube, Dawson Ryder here with my review of the Deluxe FX Super Mega Red Ranger. So this line did exist in the regular Megaforce line, before we got regular Megaforce Red and Robo Knight. In the last line I only picked up Robo Knight, but I wanted to pick this up because I really dig the suit and just kind of wanted to figure the scale of it. So let's see how it, stacks up, I guess. So obviously, other than himself, he only comes with this one weapon, which is the Super Mega Saber, which is done in the very traditional Power Rangers gray block. It's got some nice little details in there in terms of the sculpting, but it's traditional gray, there's nothing about it. I believe the Megaforce Reds was actually a red weapon, which isn't that much better, I suppose, but at least is an accurate color to the show. But yeah, here's the figure. It's obviously in a larger scale, about 12 inches, I believe. The only one I picked up out of the last line was Robo Knight, because I really dig Robo Knight and I thought the figure looked cool, and this scale and the figure for him looked really nice. It looked really pretty accurate, actually. It's a pretty nice looking figure. I did not pick up Megaforce Red. I might pick that up now because it'd be neat to have them side by side since it's a transformation. So this is my first sort of regular Ranger, and honestly, he's okay. He's a pretty solid looking figure like right now you can see him just standing there. He looks like he'd be a pretty solid display piece, I think. And he's certainly not a terrible figure or anything. His details are all fine on him. The head sculpt here, to me, honestly, looks a little strange. It's not like it's horrendous or anything, but it just looks a little bit disproportioned for the way that the helmet's supposed to look. But other than that, the paint details are on it all fine. You can see there that they got the red on there nicely. They even got like the gold trim surrounding there, so it looks good. Down here in his chest, the detail's all good as well. It's a pretty solid looking figure. Like I said, the paint is all there, fairly nicely done. But just something about the helmet proportions look a little bit strange to me. They're just, off. Like, mainly the visor. It looks pretty good from that angle. I'm just kind of giving you an overall pan. I decided to try something different than my usual, just picking up the figure and rolling it around in my hands. And on the back here, you can see it's got an on-off switch, because it's got sound features, which I'll be showing in a minute. And having that on switch is really nice. Check out his sexy back. That's really weird. I'm going to stop doing that now. So anyway, overall, pretty solid looking figure. Like I said, it makes a pretty solid display piece. I'm just a little bit wigged by the helmet. I'm not sure, just something off about it. Articulation-wise, it remains the same as Robo Knight's was in the other line. They didn't make any changes. You have a hinge joint here on his arm, so you can move inwards and outwards and around, but there's no elbow joint here. You can swivel his hands around. You can't swivel his chest or waist around. His legs are also on a hinge joint here, but no knee bending. That's not a form of from Avatar or anything. And his head can move around 360, but it's hindered by his collar, so you only get this side-to-side movement. So a pretty base setup there. These figures could actually be really awesome if they had a little more range of articulation. I mean, I'm not expecting figure arts full-on articulation, but if they just had bendable elbows and knees, that would be awesome. So that's kind of a letdown. So he does have a sound feature. In the Robo Knight one, I can't remember if Megaforce was the same. I believe he was. It was just a button you pressed and it would say a bunch of different phrases. This one they changed it up and made it a shake feature. He's like the shake weight of Power Rangers. So when you shake him or move him, he will make a variation of sounds sort of at random. It kind of reminds me of the Sound Fury figures from Jungle Fury, except there's an on-off switch right here on the back. It'll make that activation noise. There's no lights or anything like that. So I'm just going to kind of shake him until I get the sounds that he makes. So he's got slashing noises. Come on.
It's morphin' time.
He's got its morphin' time. Another slashing noise. He plays the theme. Shocker, the theme song is the same. Then he says that, after that, and more slashing noises. I know he's got one more regular phrase. Let's power up. So yeah, I think that's about all of them. We got a couple slashing noises. Let's power up. It's Morphin' Time, the theme song. It's a mega win. And it just cycles through them randomly. Man, this is like shaking one of those Digivices, except it's no fun. I honestly don't care for the way they do that in this one. I preferred the button. The sounds are okay, I guess. The voice sort of sounds like Troy. It sounds like Troy if he was hit by a spell that made him 14 or something. And playing the theme is kind of always a neat feature. I wish the theme song was different, but that's not the toy's fault. But I think the sounds remain okay. But I really wish they would have just stuck to the button system. They could have put the button right here on his belt. It would have been fairly discreet. So I don't really care for the shaking gimmick. I do appreciate that there's an on-off switch, because when I used to have those Sound Fury figures, which are actually one of my favorites, but you know, something would move and they would just go off in the middle of the night and scare me. So I'm glad you can turn it off, because you know, when I got him, I left him on and I was just kind of moving around and his noises would activate. So yeah, I'm not really a huge fan of the whole shake system. I would rather them stick to the buttons, and they could still have better sounds, but the sounds are okay, I guess. So like I said, he makes an okay shelf piece, but honestly, he's not really high on my recommendation list. If you really love the suit, and or you love Troy or Gokai Red, then I could say he makes an okay shelf piece, but there's definitely better things out there. It's just kind of overall an okay figure. I'm not upset I have it, but I can't really recommend it as like a must-have thing. I mean, it's kind of neat to have on the shelf, but the sounds are kind of lame, and I don't like the shake gimmick, and something about his helmet is disproportionate. But overall, he's okay for me. I'm not sure what else I'll pick up from this line. I wouldn't be mad if they did a Silver Ranger or a Gold Mold Silver Ranger. I'd probably pick that up, so we'll have to see. But yeah, that's about it. Until next time, make sure you check out the Crazy Podcast at writersrangersrambles.com. Until next time, it's Dawson Ryder, signing out.